If you've heard that homeschooling can be expensive, you might be right, but it doesn't have to break the bank. There are definitely affordable options out there, and I am a strong proponent of making your library the first place to go for resources. It is actually amazing how much my library has now compared to when I was homeschooling my children. So if you haven't made a trip to the library recently, I encourage you to add it to your to-do list. Back in the day, there used to be a used curriculum sale every year at our local community college. There were tables and tables of books. You would take your lists because it was a great place to grab your books at a very discounted price. I know that fair is no longer happening. But it doesn't mean you have to give up on finding some used curriculum. One of the first places I would say to go are some of our homeschool Facebook groups or local co-ops where you can meet families because, face it, a first grader becomes a second grader and maybe you have a first grader in your home. So families are often looking for places for their books to go to families that are going to use them. Also, remember, there still is eBay and Amazon. Both have used books as an option. Now, another place I would consider are digital programs, such as Time for Learning or Power Homeschool. The thing that I like about these types of programs is that they're often monthly subscriptions, so you can try them out. If for some reason your child or you aren't satisfied with the program, they are easy to cancel and you can just move on and try something different. They're so easy to change out. Now, video-based curriculum can also be less expensive. The reason for this is that you don't have to pay for the printing or the physical shipping of the textbook. So you might want to consider looking at digital curriculum if budget is a consideration. One of the biggest inventory of information can actually be found on YouTube. In fact, I've heard it called YouTube University. Now, I remember a time back long ago when my dryer had stopped working, and I was determined to figure out what the problem was. So where did I go? YouTube. And guess what? I fixed my dryer. I especially think YouTube can be a great place for curriculum in the area of history and science at literally no cost to you unless you can't stand the few ads. But if that's the case, for a small monthly fee, you can go ad-free. So, as you can see, with some creativity and effort, you don't need to break the bank. Homeschooling doesn't need to be expensive. So feel free to comment below or contact me through legacyhomeschooling.com, as I actually even have some used curriculum and materials sitting in my bookshelf here and in my garage, because I have homeschool families all the time saying, would you take this curriculum that we're done with and pass it on to another family? So it just might be that I have what you need, so don't be afraid to ask.